Welcome back, everybody, to the Valley Combat and Tactical YouTube channel.
Oh, hey, whoa. Get out of here. You're not allowed to do this. Get. Like she said, welcome back to the Valley Combat and Tactical YouTube channel. Today we've got a request from one of our subscribers for an AR15 teardown. Today is the AR15 teardown. It's going to be hosted, our good buddy Rod from Civil Advantage Firearms Training is going to do the video for us. Please enjoy the video. Stay tuned. More stuff. Woo!
Hey guys, it's Rod with Civil Advantage Firearms Training here. We're going to do a quick takedown video for an AR-15, and so let's just get at it. Oh, just so you know, I'm not going to be talking about how to clean an AR, how to maintain it or anything like that. It's just a pure takedown video and reassembly. So if you want to know how to do that, there's lots of different methodologies out there, lots of oil, not so much oil, using frog lube, using regular gun oil. But there's lots of videos out there to get that kind of information. At least in this video, you'll learn how to disassemble and reassemble the gun. So that's something you don't need to learn how to do while you're trying to watch some other stuff. So here we go. First thing we want to do is make sure this firearm is safe. So as you may or may not be aware, military rifles, typically if you put an empty magazine in them, they will help you lock the bolt open so that you don't have to do it the hard way. So let's do that. So I've got an empty mag in here. I'm going to pull the charging handle, put the charging handle back in so it's not flopping around, and I'll remove this magazine. And we're going to take a really good look inside the chamber. So, and I would also look inside the mag well, make sure there's nothing funny going on in there. And one second. So every time you come into contact with a firearm, or you're going to store it, we're going to make it safe. So this gun's been made safe 3 times. I'm still going to take a really good look inside the chamber, which is what I'm doing right now. I probably wouldn't do a touch on a gun like this because my finger wouldn't go all the way in there anyway. But I would definitely check the bore for obstructions, which has been done twice already. So anyway, it's safe. Now let's take this thing apart. So on an AR-15, you have 2 takedown pins, one right here and one right here. The first one we're going to remove is the one in the back. So how we do that is we need to make sure the bolt is forward. Okay, so pull back the charging handle, the bolt will release, and you can run the bolt forward nice and gentle. No need to slam it when it's empty. Then we're going to push this pin down. Now some pins are a little bit tighter than others. If the pin is tight, use something to push that pin in like this. But I typically won't use any kind of metal instrument because that's gonna, mar up or scratch the pin. I mean, for my gun, I don't care. It's just a tool. But for most people, they just don't want the gun getting marked up. So you could use like the end of this handle or something rubber or whatever. Anyway, so get that pin started. Pull this pin up, and what happens is this: the lower receiver and the upper come apart. Now we can actually take this part now and get the bolt carrier out. So what the bolt carrier is this part. We're going to grab the charging handle, we're going to move it right out to about there, and we're going to grab the bolt carrier and we're going to take that right out. So we're going to do a close-up of that in a second. But this is the charging handle, and how it works is basically you get it to about this point, and then it'll go straight down and you can pull it straight out. Pretty easy. Now let's separate the lower receiver from the upper receiver. So let's turn it over again. There's the other pin. I'm going to give that a little push, get it started, flip the gun over again, and that's it. Pretty easy. Quick tour of the lower receiver. You have the magazine well here. This is where the magazines go. And then you have the trigger group, which are basically all the parts here that do something when you pull the trigger. All of it part of the action. You also have the buffer tube, which is right here inside the stock. If you guys are familiar with these expandable stocks, extendable I should say, you just push this down and you extend the stock. Well, basically you pull it the opposite way. So if you pull it really hard, you can actually pull that right off, and you have the buffer tube. So just in case you're not familiar with the operation of the AR-15, this bolt carrier group actually goes into the stock when the firearm cycles. That's why you have this buffer tube here. It's not just a holder for the stock. Anyway, we can put this back in there, yank this, and there you go. That's back. The upper receiver is where the bolt carrier group goes, and the charging handle. And inside you'll see the gas tube. That's part of a semi-automatic action of a firearm, is the gas tube. Those gases come out of the barrel through the tube. They shoot directly onto the bolt and throw that whole thing backwards, basically. So there you go. That's your disassembly. So let's talk about the bolt carrier group, or BCG. So you'll have these things in AR-15s. It's a rotating bolt, meaning this bolt actually turns a little bit. So how you disassemble this thing is basically you have a cotter pin here, which is, I believe, a firing pin retention pin. Yes, the word pin shows up there twice. So anyways, just get that thing out. As you can see, just a cotter pin. You can put that to the side. Then your firing pin will fall out. Whenever you take these parts, I recommend that you clean your guns every time you shoot them. But anytime you disassemble a gun, just if you're not going to clean it for whatever reason, just give it a little wipe down. It just keeps the crap out of there as best you can. Clean guns work a little bit better than dirty guns. So we take this device out, and our bolt will come straight out. So that's the bolt, and this is the bolt carrier. When you want to clean this thing, check out another video, probably be 45-minute video or an hour video. Definitely take the time to watch a couple of different ones. Just FYI, there's two different schools of thought. There's running an AR-15 with lots of lubrication and running an AR-15 with next to no lubrication. I've experimented on this, guys, myself. I started running it with lots of lubrication and the gun fails. And this is even just the last time I shot it. Then I pulled this gun apart, I wiped down all these parts, get all the lubrication off them, and out of the receiver, upper receiver, I put it back together again and it ran flawlessly. So check out some videos and do not over lubricate the AR-15. There's only a couple of areas inside this gun that need to be lubricated. All right, well that's basically it. We've got all our parts. There they all are. All right, let's put it back together again. Okay, so we're going to take our bolt carrier. We're going to put the bolt in here like this. We're going to take this part and we're going to turn the bolt until we find the area where this thing goes in. I'm going to put that in there, and then we're going to turn it this way. Then we're going to take our firing pin and we're going to drop that down there. If the firing pin doesn't drop all the way down, you may have to turn this little part in here, this guy here. We drop the firing pin in there and we put our firing pin retention pin back in. Done. The bolt is back together. So then we take our upper receiver. We take it in our hand like this. We take the charging handle. We pop it into the upper receiver towards the channel, and I'm putting some pressure upwards like this. And it goes into the channel. So now you don't want to throw it all the way in, you want to leave it out a little ways. You take your bolt carrier, give it a little throw like that, and the reason why I'm doing that is if the bolt's in like this, it's not going to go into the upper receiver. Basically, you have to take it and make sure the bolt is throwing out that way. Then we're going to take it like this, put the bolt in. This part here is called the gas key. Gas key is going to go up into this little slot inside the charging handle. And we just push the whole works in there and it stays. Then we take our lower receiver and our upper receiver and we're going to put this one pin back in there. Push it through, spank this thing down like that, push out of the pin, and it's done. Now if we want to do a function test, basically we'll cycle the action like that and pull the trigger. Cycle it and pull. And we're done. There's your takedown and reassembly of an AR-15. Wait, let's put the magazine in there because that makes it look cool.
Thanks for watching today, guys.
Fine,
man. Jeez.
Thank you for watching the Valley Combat and YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.